What's up, guys? So I was on YouTube and I saw a video that popped up on, it was London Real. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. This dude interviews a lot of spiritual people, a lot of entrepreneurs, athletes, and just asks really interesting questions. But I noticed he had Dan Bilzerian on. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. He is a former Navy SEAL. He's a gambler and kind of a well-known personality, sort of playboy, ladies' man. And it's interesting because I saw the title had to do with chasing pleasure doesn't equal happiness or something along those lines. And I tapped on the video. It was about 10 minutes. And that's along the lines of what he was saying was, no matter how much he can never have enough money and women and like no matter how many women he sleeps with, he always wants to sleep with more. No matter how much money he gets, he always wants more. But that doesn't equate to happiness. That's pleasure, that's an experience, but happiness really has to do with, I forget exactly what he said, but just finding new challenges and continuing to grow. So basically, I find it interesting because he goes into how happiness is also relative, meaning that because he has the best chefs in the world, because he sleeps with some of the most beautiful people in the world, anything other than a certain standard is actually like a step down for him, which is interesting because he also mentioned when he came out of boot camp as a Navy SEAL, everything seems so great because when you're in boot camp, everything is so difficult. That's such a difficult experience they put you through. So I find this interesting because our cat, or Rain's cat, she's been living with us. She used to be completely content being in the apartment, and one day, Rain let her out and kind of let her explore the outside of the apartment. Not outside, but just the halls and stuff. And ever since then, she cries to be let out and to explore and stuff. And I let her out once or twice and let her roam around for a few minutes. But then she'll stand by the door the rest of the time and just cry. And she's no longer content with being in the apartment because of that. And it kind of breaks my heart, but I can only let her out so many times because I have stuff I need to do. And it's interesting because this theory of relativity and happiness, there's a big relation between it. And like with the Dan situation, being rich and having all these things changes happiness in terms of relativity and in terms of satisfaction. And then also, the boot camp scenario, or being in prison, or just something like that changes your perspective. So, in terms of happiness, what I found is I'm pretty content. Like I meditate and I stay connected to myself, and I exercise and I do these things that I love every day that make me feel good. I'm taking care of my body. I also set challenges for myself, and these challenges, for example, a simple one that I like talking about a lot is the cold showers. Like, they're not easy to do. Like, to take a cold shower, I know it sounds kind of silly, but especially in Chicago, when the weather drops, when the temperature in the weather drops, the shower temperature actually drops. So I'm kind of, during the summer, it wasn't that cold. And that's when I just started doing this, so that wasn't a bad thing. But just doing that, I don't want to do it. There are a lot of times I just do not want to take that cold shower. But you just step in and then you experience it. And afterwards, everything is, you just did something so challenging. So everything is relative to that. And even when it comes to pleasure, like, watching something I enjoy on YouTube or something, I notice with me, I'm not satisfied sitting there and watching whatever that is unless I've done, A, B, and C in my day, unless I've done enough things to make me be okay and able to sit and really appreciate, that moment of, watching this thing that I enjoy. So, in terms of happiness being relative, that's going to be different for everybody else. but just kind of finding like what exactly do you enjoy waking up to the day to do, you know? But number two, like what sort of challenges can you set in your day that'll make you appreciate life more? Again, some people don't do that, but other people, you know, maybe that's part of something maybe that's something they can add to their day. And then I guess finally, just realizing, at least for me, is in order to really appreciate sort of things, you know, little things in my day, like, you know, watching something on YouTube, just being able to accomplish whatever I had set out, like in my day to do that, and then really appreciate all these other little things. Because, you know, I watched this Joe Rogan thing, and I'll put it down below, but he was talking about happiness, and he was just saying like too much contentment, too much comfort doesn't necessarily lead to happiness. Because, you know, I feel like as humans, like we always want to grow, we always want to learn, and I can't speak for everybody, but like I fall in line with that. So I agree with like his mindset on that. Anyway, guys, cool beans. Just wanted to share that. Peace. Have a good one.